Gladys Knight, often called the Empress of Soul, is one of the most influential vocalists in American music history. Her voice has been described as timeless, emotional, and spiritually moving, capable of carrying both joy and sorrow in a single note. Across decades, she rose from humble beginnings in Georgia to global fame with Gladys Knight and the Pips. Yet behind the celebrated performances lies a life often marked by struggle, family challenges, and personal resilience. This is the story of how talent, faith, hardship, and endurance shaped a woman who turned pain into unforgettable music and left an enduring legacy. Roots in Georgia and early faith. Gladys Knight was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1944 into a deeply religious and hardworking family. Raised in a modest household, she grew up surrounded by church music where gospel singing became the foundation of her artistic identity. Her mother encouraged musical expression early, recognizing Gladys's extraordinary vocal ability. By the age of 4, she was already singing solos in church services, captivating congregations with a voice far beyond her years. The church was not just a spiritual space, but also a training ground that shaped her discipline, emotional delivery, and lifelong connection to gospel-inspired soul music. Childhood challenges and early trauma reported. Accounts of Gladys Knight's early life often mention both hardship and emotional burden within her upbringing. Some narratives and interviews referencing her past suggest she experienced traumatic events in childhood, which she later acknowledged in a broader sense during adulthood while discussing healing and therapy. These experiences, whether fully detailed or privately held, are often connected in storytelling to the emotional depth in her voice. What remains clear is that she grew up under pressure, balancing childhood with responsibility and early performance demands, which shaped her resilience and emotional intensity as an artist. National breakthrough at a young age. By the age of 7, Gladys Knight had already entered the national spotlight after winning a major televised talent competition, which brought her early recognition across America. This moment marked a turning point, transforming her from a local church singer into a professional performer. The exposure also introduced her to the demands of the entertainment industry at an extremely young age. Instead of a typical childhood, she began performing regularly, traveling for shows, and being treated as a rising talent. This early success laid the foundation for her lifelong career in music and performance. Formation of Gladys Knight and the Pips. In her youth, Gladys began performing with family members, including her brother and cousins, forming the group that would become Gladys Knight and the Pips. The group started performing at local events, talent shows, and small venues throughout Atlanta. Their harmonies and stage presence quickly gained attention, but progress in the music industry was slow at first. Despite challenges, the group maintained persistence, driven by shared ambition and family ties. Gladys emerged as the lead vocalist, her voice becoming the centerpiece that defined the group's identity and set them apart in a competitive musical landscape. Early marriage and personal struggles. As a teenager, Gladys Knight entered an early marriage, a decision often interpreted as an attempt to escape the pressures of fame and responsibility. However, the relationship proved difficult, marked by emotional strain and early motherhood. She gave birth to her first child while still navigating the demands of a growing career. Balancing motherhood, marriage, and touring created intense pressure on her personal life. The marriage eventually ended, leaving her a young single mother. These experiences contributed to the emotional complexity she carried into her music and reinforced her determination to succeed independently. Motown years and professional growth. During the 1960s, Gladys Knight and the Pips signed with Motown Records, joining one of the most influential labels in music history. While the group gained exposure, they often felt overshadowed by more prominently promoted acts. Despite this, they refined their sound and performance style, gaining respect for their consistency and emotional delivery. Their breakthrough came with I Heard It Through the Grapevine, which showcased Gladys's powerful vocal control and emotional depth. Although not always the primary focus of the label, the group built a strong reputation that would eventually lead to greater independence and success. Iconic success and Midnight Train to Georgia. The departure from Motown marked a major turning point, leading the group to a new label and creative freedom. In 1973, they released Midnight Train to Georgia, a song that became their signature hit. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned them a Grammy Award. The song's emotional storytelling and Gladys Knight's powerful vocal performance resonated deeply with audiences worldwide. This period solidified her status as a leading voice in soul music. The success also elevated the group to international fame, making them one of the defining acts of their era. Family, fame, and internal tensions. As success grew, internal tensions within Gladys Knight and the Pips began to surface. Being both family and business partners created complex dynamics, especially as fame and financial success increased. Disagreements over creative direction, recognition, and earnings gradually strained relationships. Despite years of shared struggle and unity, the pressures of the music industry eventually contributed to the group's dissolution. By the late 1980s, the Pips retired from performing, and Gladys transitioned into a solo career. The separation marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new artistic chapter. Solo career, marriages, and endurance. As a solo artist, Gladys Knight continued to achieve success, releasing acclaimed music and performing globally. She expanded into acting and television appearances, maintaining relevance across decades. Her personal life included multiple marriages, each facing its own challenges and eventual endings. Over time, she has spoken about personal growth, faith, and therapy as tools for healing emotional wounds and understanding her life experiences. Her journey also includes publicly acknowledged struggles within her family, including her son's battle with addiction. Through it all, she remained committed to her craft and spiritual strength. Outrow. A legacy beyond the pain. Gladys Knight's story is ultimately one of endurance, transformation, and artistic greatness. While her life includes documented hardships and personal struggles, her legacy is defined by her ability to turn emotion into music that resonates across generations. Her voice continues to be celebrated not only for its technical brilliance, but for its deep humanity. Through decades of change, loss, and triumph, she has remained a symbol of strength in soul music. Her journey reflects how art can emerge from struggle and how a single voice can carry the weight of an entire era.